My name is Troy Matthews, and I'm worth $3 billion. On Christmas Eve, I sat alone in my penthouse overlooking Manhattan, staring at my phone with zero messages. How does a billionaire end up completely isolated? Let me tell you about Marcus Webb, my CFO, and the man I thought was my best friend. Troy, you really should reconsider this charity gala, Marcus had said 6 months earlier, standing in my office with that concerned expression he'd perfected. These people only want your money. But I've attended for 10 years, I'd replied, confused. Exactly. And what have you gotten in return? Fake friends and empty conversations? You're better than that. He'd placed a hand on my shoulder. I'm looking out for you, buddy. Real friends tell you the truth. I'd canceled. Then he started working on my family relationships. Your sister called again, Marcus had mentioned casually in September. She's asking about that investment opportunity. Should I call her back? I'd asked. Troy, think about it. She never called before you made your fortune. Now suddenly she's interested in investment opportunities? She's using you. His voice had dripped with false sympathy. It's painful, I know, but I'm the only one who doesn't want anything from you except your friendship. By November, I'd stopped returning my sister's calls. My nephew's birthday passed without acknowledgement. Thanksgiving came and went with just Marcus and me at an expensive restaurant. See, isn't this better than dealing with all those people who pretend to care? Marcus had said, raising his glass. I'd believed him. God, I'd actually believed him. Then came Christmas Eve. Marcus had texted that morning. Family emergency. Can't make dinner tonight. Sorry, buddy. I'd sat there alone, wondering how my life had become so empty. That's when my doorman called. Mr. Matthews, there's a woman here insisting she needs to speak with you. She says it's urgent. Her name is Sarah Chen. I don't know anyone named Sarah Chen, I'd said. Sir, she's crying. She says she has documents you need to see about Mr. Webb. She won't leave. Something in his tone made me pause. Send her up. 10 minutes later, Sarah stood in my living room, a thin woman in a worn coat, clutching a manila folder. Her hands shook. Mr. Matthews, I'm so sorry to bother you on Christmas Eve, she began, tears streaming down her face. I work in your accounting department. Actually, I worked there until Mr. Webb fired me last week. Why did he fire you? I asked. Because I found these. She opened the folder, spreading documents across my marble coffee table. He's been stealing from you for 3 years. $20 million so far. My blood ran cold. What? Wire transfers to offshore accounts? Fake vendor invoices? Inflated consulting fees? Her voice cracked. I have copies of everything. I was going to go through proper channels, but when I showed my supervisor, Mr. Webb found out immediately. He fired me that day and threatened me. What did he threaten? I asked quietly. He said if I told anyone, he'd make sure I never worked again. He'd fabricate criminal charges against me. She wiped her eyes. Mr. Matthews, I'm a single mother with 3 kids. I can't afford lawyers. I can't fight him, but I couldn't let him keep stealing from you. You've been good to your employees. You deserve to know the truth. I picked up one of the documents. Marcus's signature mocked me from the bottom of a fraudulent invoice. You said he's been isolating me, I said slowly. That was part of his plan? Yes, Sarah confirmed. I heard him on the phone once, bragging about it. He said once you had nobody left, you'd depend on him completely. Then he could take whatever he wanted. The room spun. My best friend, my trusted advisor. Sarah, do you have somewhere to stay tonight? I asked. A motel in Jersey, she whispered. No, you're staying here, guest room. Tomorrow we're calling my lawyer. I looked at her determined face. And you're getting your job back with a promotion, plus a reward for your bravery. Fresh tears fell, but these were different. Thank you, Mr. Matthews. Call me Troy. And thank you for saving me from the biggest mistake of my life. Christmas morning, I called Jennifer Park, my personal attorney. She arrived within an hour, her usual efficiency undimmed by the holiday. Troy, I came as soon as I got your message, Jennifer said, settling into my study. This must be serious. It's about Marcus, I said. Sarah, show her what you found. Sarah laid out the documents again. Jennifer's expression grew darker with each page. This is extensive embezzlement, Jennifer said finally. Sarah, walk me through exactly what you discovered. It started small, Sarah explained. I noticed discrepancies in consulting fees. When I dug deeper, I found wire transfers to shell companies. Then I discovered the offshore accounts. How did you access this information? Jennifer asked. I worked in accounts payable. I process all vendor invoices. I started recognizing fake company names, addresses that didn't exist. Sarah pulled out a spreadsheet. I documented everything for 6 months before I reported it. Smart, Jennifer nodded approvingly. And when you reported it? My supervisor said he'd handle it. 2 hours later, Marcus called me into his office. Sarah's voice trembled. He was so calm, so cold. He said, "Sarah, I think there's been a misunderstanding. You're clearly overwhelmed. I'm letting you go, effective immediately." Did he admit to anything? I asked. Not directly, but he said, "If you make accusations you can't prove, I have lawyers who'll destroy you. Think about your children before you do something stupid." Sarah looked at me. "That's when I knew I had to tell you directly, Mr. Matthews." Jennifer made notes rapidly. "Troy, I need to bring in Detective Mike Harrison. He specializes in white-collar crime. We'll need to move quickly before Marcus realizes we know." "Do it," I said. "What's our strategy?" "First, we freeze your accounts that Marcus has access to," Jennifer replied. "Then we build the criminal case. Sarah's documentation is excellent, but we need more. Bank records, email correspondence, witness testimony." "I can get you into the company server," I offered. "No," Jennifer said firmly. "Let the police obtain warrants. Everything must be legal and airtight. Marcus will hire the best defense lawyers money can buy. Well, your money, technically." "What about me?" Sarah asked nervously. "He said he'd come after me." "He won't get the chance," Jennifer assured her. "We'll get a restraining order today. And Troy, I recommend Sarah stay in a secure location until we arrest Marcus." "She's staying here," I said. "This penthouse has better security than Fort Knox." Detective Harrison arrived that afternoon, a sharp-eyed man in his 50s who listened intently as Sarah repeated her story. "Miss Chen, this documentation is extraordinary," Harrison said. "In 15 years, I've rarely seen such thorough evidence from a civilian. You could teach forensic accountants." Sarah blushed. "I just wanted to do the right thing." "You did more than that. You've handed us a slam-dunk case." Harrison turned to me. "Mr. Matthews, I need your permission to access your company's financial records." "Whatever you need," I said. "When do we move on, Marcus?" "Let me get the warrants. We'll execute them the day after tomorrow." Harrison smiled grimly. "Enjoy one last Christmas in freedom, Mr. Webb." After they left, Sarah and I sat in the living room. The Christmas tree I decorated alone now seemed less depressing. "Why did you really come here?" I asked gently. "You risked everything." "Because you helped me once," Sarah said quietly. 3 years ago, my daughter needed surgery we couldn't afford. I was going to quit to take a second job. You found out and your company paid for everything. You probably don't even remember." I did remember. "Emily, right? Heart condition?" "You remember her name?" Sarah's eyes filled with tears. "Most bosses wouldn't. You're a good man, Troy. Marcus was stealing from someone who actually deserves his wealth. I couldn't let that continue." "Thank you," I said, "for seeing the real me when I'd stopped seeing myself." My phone buzzed. "Marcus. Hey, buddy, sorry about last night. Family crisis resolved. Dinner tonight to make it up to you?" I showed the text to Sarah. "What should I say?" "Tell him yes," she said with a fierce smile. "Let him think everything's normal. It'll make his arrest even sweeter." I typed back, "Sounds great. My place, 7 p.m.? Marcus replied immediately, "Perfect, can't wait." "He has no idea what's coming," I said. "Good," Sarah replied. "Predators should never see their end approaching." The next evening, Marcus arrived at 7 sharp, carrying expensive wine and his confident smile. "Troy, buddy, I'm so sorry about Christmas Eve," he said. "My sister had a crisis. You know how family can be." "Do I?" I asked evenly. "You've convinced me I don't have family worth knowing? Come on, don't be like that. I protected you from users and manipulators." He walked to the bar. "Where's that good scotch?" "Marcus, sit down. We need to talk." Something in my tone made him pause. "Everything okay?" "That depends. I spent Christmas Eve with Sarah Chen. Remember her?" His face went pale. "The fired employee? Troy, she's delusional. She made wild accusations." $20 million, Marcus? That's not wild, that's specific. She's lying. She was stealing and blamed me when she got caught. I was protecting you by firing her." "Really? Then explain these wire transfers." I spread documents across the table. "These offshore accounts, these fake vendors, your signatures are all over them." Marcus's eyes darted across the papers. "Those are legitimate business expenses. You're not an accountant, Troy. You don't understand." "I understand theft when I see it. What I don't understand is why. I trusted you. I would have given you anything you asked for." "You don't get it," Marcus snapped, his mask cracking. "You stumbled into billions through luck and timing. I'm the one who actually worked. I built the financial systems that keep your empire running. Why should you have everything while I get a salary?" So it was about resentment. It was about taking what I deserved. Marcus stood up, pacing. "And I would have gotten away with it if that bleeding heart single mother hadn't stuck her nose where it didn't belong. She has 3 kids, Marcus. You threatened her children. I threatened her job prospects, he corrected. I'm not a monster. No, you're just a thief who isolated me so you could steal more easily. Tell me, was any of our friendship real? Marcus laughed bitterly. You were my meal ticket, Troy. That's all you've ever been. The lonely billionaire desperate for a friend. You made it so easy. That's what I thought. I pressed the intercom button. You can come in now. The door opened. Detective Harrison entered with 2 uniformed officers. Sarah and Jennifer followed. Marcus's face went white. What is this? Marcus Webb, you're under arrest for embezzlement, wire fraud, and money laundering, Harrison said, pulling out handcuffs. You have the right to remain silent. Troy, wait! Marcus's voice turned desperate. We can work this out. I'll return the money. We don't need police. Please, buddy, think about our friendship. Our friendship was a lie, I said coldly. You admitted it yourself 30 seconds ago. I was angry. I didn't mean it. Marcus struggled as the officers cuffed him. Troy, please, I'll lose everything. You already did, Sarah said quietly from the doorway. The moment you chose greed over decency. You! Marcus lunged toward her, but the officers held him back. This is your fault. You ruined everything. No, Marcus, you did this to yourself, I said. Officers, get him out of my home. As they dragged Marcus toward the door, he screamed back. You'll regret this. My lawyers will destroy you. Your lawyers will be busy defending you against 20 counts of felony fraud, Harrison said calmly. Mr. Matthews, we'll need your formal statement tomorrow. Whatever you need, detective. The door closed. The silence felt profound. Jennifer touched my shoulder. You okay? I just watched my best friend get arrested. I should feel worse than I do. He wasn't your friend, Sarah said. Friends don't steal. They don't isolate you. They don't threaten people's children. She's right, Jennifer agreed. Marcus was a predator. You were his victim. Now you're his prosecutor. I looked at Sarah. How did you know I'd believe you? I didn't, she admitted. But I had to try. Some things are worth risking everything for. Truth and justice? I asked. And protecting good people from bad ones, she replied. I raised my glass. To Christmas miracles that come in unexpected packages. To courage, Jennifer added. To doing the right thing, Sarah finished. We drank, and for the first time in months, I didn't feel alone. 3 weeks later, Jennifer called me to her office for the final settlement conference. Marcus's lawyers want to make a deal, she explained as I sat across from her desk. Sarah sat beside me, now officially my director of financial compliance. What kind of deal? I asked. Reduce charges if you don't pursue civil litigation beyond restitution. He'd serve 5 years instead of 20. I think 5 years is too lenient, Sarah said firmly. Jennifer, counteroffer this, I said. Full restitution plus interest, 12 years minimum, complete ban from finance, public admission of guilt, and a formal apology to Sarah that he reads in court. They'll probably accept, Jennifer smiled. Marcus is terrified of trial. 2 days later, we gathered at the courthouse. Marcus sat at the defense table in an orange jumpsuit, looking gaunt. The judge reviewed the plea agreement. Mr. Webb, you agree to serve 12 years in federal prison, pay $23 million in restitution, and accept a lifetime ban from financial services? Yes, Your Honor, Marcus said quietly. There's also a requirement for a public apology. Bailiff, bring Miss Chen forward. Sarah walked to the front. Marcus wouldn't meet her eyes. Mr. Webb, read your statement, the judge instructed. Marcus's hands shook. Sarah Chen, I threatened you and your children to cover up my crimes. I abused my authority and tried to destroy your career. I'm sorry. Miss Chen, do you wish to respond? The judge asked. I don't accept your apology, Sarah said firmly. You're not sorry you did it. You're sorry you got caught, but I'm glad justice is being served. Mr. Matthews? The judge asked. I stood facing Marcus. You didn't just steal my money. You stole my family relationships, my trust in people. You made me doubt everyone except you. If I could take it back, Marcus whispered. But you can't. You said I don't deserve my wealth. Maybe you're right, but I've learned deserving something isn't about how you earn it. It's about what you do with it. What are you doing with it? Marcus asked bitterly. Sarah's daughter Emily got a full college scholarship from the Matthews Foundation. I've reconnected with my sister. She's investing in her own business and I'm supporting her. My nephew calls me Uncle Troy now. Marcus's face crumpled. You've moved on. I've healed, I corrected. There's a difference. After sentencing, Jennifer, Sarah, and I stood on the courthouse steps. How do you feel? Jennifer asked. Relieved, like I can finally breathe again. The company's finances are completely clean now, Sarah reported. Nobody will pull what Marcus did ever again. Because of you, I said. You saved my company and saved me. My phone buzzed. A text from my sister. Saw the news. Proud of you, little brother. Dinner this weekend? I showed it to Sarah. Silver linings. I wanted to ask your permission for something, Sarah said. I'd like to start a support group for whistleblowers. People who risk everything to do the right thing often have nowhere to turn. The Matthews Foundation will fund it. Consider yourself the director. Really? Her eyes shone. Really? You changed my life, Sarah. Now let's change some others. As we walked away from the courthouse, I felt lighter than I had in years. Marcus was wrong about so many things, but he was right about one. I did get lucky. Lucky that Sarah Chen was brave enough to risk everything. Lucky that I got a second chance to build real relationships based on truth instead of manipulation. Real justice isn't about making the other person suffer. It's about reclaiming what was stolen. Not just money or property, but dignity, trust, and hope. Have you ever discovered someone you trusted was betraying you? How did you find the strength to act? Like and subscribe for more stories about people who refused to be victims and fought back the right way.